Hello, today I am sharing 2024 tax deadlines and updates for small business owners. So, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, if you are a 1099 worker, consider yourself a sole proprietor, this broadcast is for you. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am just getting set up, making sure that we're bringing all of our from across. Hold on just a second. Just want to make sure I'm bringing in everyone to this broadcast that needs to be in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you all out there. Let me know who you are. If you're new here, who are you? Where are you hailing from? What is your business? Let us know down here in the comments. As always, in order for us to get these the broadcast out to those that need it so that you can take the appropriate action in your business to build wealth, we really appreciate you hitting that like button, hitting that love button, giving it a thumbs up so more people can see it, and then share out this broadcast to someone you know who needs this information. So I will want to start out by saying make sure that you are getting in contact with a tax professional. So many of the information I'm going to go through today, this is not all the information. It's not comprehensive. I'm going to be giving you an overview, but this is something you definitely want to talk about, discuss with your particular tax professional. And you don't want to wait until it's tax season. But I thought it was important since we, a few weeks ago, had our great guest, Lysandra, on to talk about the 2024 tax tips that you need to know about, because there's so many tax deductions, so many tax credits that are available for small businesses that many of you all still don't know about, and that you don't claim on your taxes, or that you claim them, or that you don't have the proper documentation to substantiate any of the deductions or tax credits that you are claiming. That is so important. So we want to make sure that we're giving you the right information and resources, so again, you can take the appropriate action for your business. So again, we're going to talk about some of these deadlines and updates. And if you are a specialist, or if you're a business owner, you have expertise in this area, feel free to also share your tips or additional information that you may know about this 2024 tax year with our community, because we all have knowledge that we can share. We can all learn from one another. Like I said, there's even more that is available for you that I'm even going to be discussing here today. I'm also at the end going to be talking about a tax credit specifically for the self-employed that is available for millions of self-employed individuals that still have not taken the opportunity to claim their tax credit. And again, this is significant. Anytime that you can get a tax credit or tax deduction to decrease your tax liability, and also with these tax credits, a lot of times they are refundable, meaning that you have the ability to get money back in your pocket, like cash money back to you. So these are things that you want to really keep on your priority list, really make sure that you are paying attention to. So give me just a second. Want to make sure everything is showing up here appropriately, and we're ready to go. So, annual filing tax deadlines, you will see a graphic on here. If you can't see everything on here, don't even worry about it. I am sharing it with you. I'm talking it out with you. And then I'll also share a link to this slide presentation in the comments of this video, where you can go and grab it, or I may just add it to the description where you see the words or the text of this video. You can also find other references and resources that you need for your small business, including tax resources, a tax deduction resource, our tax deduction guide in the description of this video. So let's talk about the annual tax filing. Like, every business is different, right? So it's important for you to understand, based on how your business is set up, how you are structured, then what forms are you required to file, and when are you required to file them? And you may be a business owner that has there where there's not just one, right? You may have a few different ways that you are filing your tax returns, and I'll again use myself as an example in just a minute. Okay, so we know as individuals and families, when they say individuals and families under filing status, that includes you and me as a business owner, right? We are individuals. We're filing on our individual tax form, right? Our 1040 for ourselves and or for our families if you have one, in which we use form 1040. And the filing date, the deadline is April the 15th. And this deadline has been known to change over the years. We know like during COVID, it changed. It was dates that were extended again to accommodate for if there's a pandemic going on, or if there are backlogs or delays within the Internal Revenue Service. They always keep us updated with what is happening. But for your 1040 individual family filing, we know that the deadline is April 15th to file your income tax returns. And the extension is so important for you to understand. The extended filing deadline is October the 15th. Anytime when we're looking at extensions, you have to actually file. You need to file for an extension before the extension deadline date, okay? So you file for your extension. If you know you need more time to gather things up, then you submit that paperwork, get the extension approved by the IRS. So whether you're filing or you have an expert filing on your behalf, you want to make sure that you're taking action early and that you pay attention to these dates. So your individual filings is April 15th, and the extended deadline for that is October the 15th. Now, if you are filing as a C corporation, you want to use Form 1120. And then your filing deadline was March the 15th. So we know people are always up to date. Sometimes they're delayed or behind in their tax filings. But again, understand that there are a lot of dates as a small business owner that we have to be aware of. And March 15th, we already know has passed, right? So you should already have I'm sorry, for C corporations, the deadline is April 15th. April 15th to file your 1120, and then the deadline is also October the 15th. But S Corp, so if you file as an S Corp like I do, you're going to be filing Form 1120S, and the deadline was March 15th. So if the deadline was March 15th, then you should have already filed with the IRS. And if you didn't, you should have filed your extension so that then you can submit by the September 16th deadline date. This is also the same with partnerships. You file on the form 1065, and the deadline again was March 15th with the September 16th deadline, filing extension deadline date. Estates and trust is 1041 with the April 15th date and an extended filing date of October 15th. Now, because I'm an S Corp, I want to stop, and I know the most about this and the regular filing. For S corporations, I just want to make sure that you're mindful that in order to actually be filed in this tax category, you must have already submitted the appropriate forms to file as a S corp and get approved by the IRS in advance. I remember when I was consulting with the business owner during COVID, and I was looking at his paperwork and I was talking to him, I discovered that he had never filed the appropriate paperwork to be acknowledged as a S corporation filing for tax purposes. So then he had to go back. He had to go back and file the appropriate paperwork. So he had filed his tax return that was not acknowledged by the IRS. So even if you file, you need to make sure that it is acknowledged and approved by the IRS. It's not enough to just prepare it. It's not enough just to file it. You have to really follow through the entire process. So although he had these forms, they were never acknowledged by the IRS. So again, that's why it's important to consult with a tax professional who understands all the paperwork that needs to be filed ahead of time in preparation for when you're changing. Because when I started She Boss Talk, I started with filing my taxes on a Schedule C on my 1040. But then as my company grew and based on the advisement from my accountant, I changed my tax filing status. So I got the approval. I have records that I'm approved. And then now, I think since 2021, that we've been filing using an 1120S. That's how we've been filing ever since. And then so when I'm filing my individual tax returns, or when she files them, the profits that I generated in my business are then now captured on my 1040 form as my income. Okay, so that's really important too. To when you're working with your tax consultant and your bookkeepers, that you're reviewing on a regular basis. I would say on a monthly basis, or during the tax filing process, so you understand everything, what everything means, what has been filed on your behalf, that you also have the record, so that you have a copy of your forms, you have a copy of your tax returns. Because throughout the year, you will be asked to provide copies of these documents for a number of different reasons. It may be a contract you're working on, it may be a partnership or investment opportunity that you're seeking, that may ask for these documents. There may be a grant or some other type of funding, like a loan, an SBA loan, where they're going to be asking you for these types of documents. And so you need to be, again, educated on these documents and make sure you have them in your possession, so they're easily made available to you, so that when you're called upon to provide them, you have them, and it's not a struggle or a challenge for you, and it's not then becoming a delay in you being able to access an opportunity because you have not done the work. Okay. In addition to the tax filing deadlines, there are also estimated quarterly tax filings. And so these are things that you need to be aware of too, because we find that if you're not filing you're supposed to be filing your quarterly tax returns. And if you're not, I've seen people that have been really shocked to find when they get hit with a big tax bill that would not have been so big had they been filing taxes on a quarterly basis, or accounting for the taxes that will be due when they're filing and paying those taxes, or reserving the amounts for those taxes. So it's not such a big hit to you. It's not something that you didn't see coming, because you have been, again, in communications with your tax professionals to know what you need to do to file when you're supposed to file and pay when you're supposed to pay. So as far as your estimated quarterly tax deadlines, quarter one is due April 15th of 2024. Quarter two is due June 17th of 2024. Quarter three is due September 16th of 2024. And quarter four is due January 15th of 2025. Okay. So if you need to, you can screenshot this if you need to, but again, I will put the link I will provide the link in the comments once we are done. Okay, so I wanted to also talk about payroll tax deadlines, because sometimes, as I've been helping business owners with various tax credits, sometimes they get it confused, or they don't know what documentation or paperwork that they need to provide. It's like they think, when I talk about payroll, they're like, okay, do I need to provide my income tax return? Okay, so your income tax return is different than your payroll tax returns, or tax filings, or tax deadlines. Okay, so your small business tax deadlines need to be accounted for when running a business that employs people. So then you need to think, do you employ people? Okay, so the answer for me is yes. I have W-2 workers and also 1099 contractors. They all are paid through my payroll system. Okay. And for those that want to know, I use QuickBooks, so you can use I don't use QuickBooks. So for payroll, we use Gusto. So, but you can use QuickBooks or any other that you feel that is best for your business. The thing is that you want to make sure that you are filing your payroll taxes and that you're doing it on a regular basis and meeting the filing requirements and the timelines and the deadlines. So this can be overlooked. I'm here to tell you, when I first started, when I switched over, how I filed my income tax, when I decided to put myself on payroll, it was a challenge for me at the time. I did not have a bookkeeper. I had hired a bookkeeper right after. But the system that I was using for payroll really wasn't filing. I thought the system that I was using was paying out and was doing the filing, and it was doing neither. So it took me a while to go gather all the documentation, pull everything together, and find someone. I tried to find someone, that didn't work out. So I wound up actually filing them on my own. But I want to warn you against that. Just use the systems ahead of time. Do your research. Talk to a professional before, when you make the decision, I'm going to hire or I'm going to put myself on payroll. Just go ahead, hire the professional to give you that guidance, because again, it's going to be more difficult and more costly on the back end to course correct. I'm here to tell you, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, and it cost me a lot of money. Okay, in order to course correct that thing. Thought I was doing the right thing, but I didn't. So you want to make sure every time that you are doing the right thing. You must ensure that employee payroll taxes and income withholdings are paid promptly and regularly, and the frequency of these payments, whether on a monthly or biweekly basis, will depend on your specific nature of your company. So the tax deadlines are January through March the filings are due March 31st of 2024. Okay, so this is upon us. The payment due dates for any payments that are owed is April the 30th of 2024. For quarter two, April through June, filing is due June 30th of 2024, with payments that are due in July 31st of 2024. Quarter three, from July to September, filing due date is September 30th, with payments due October 31st. Quarter four, from October to December, filing is due December 31st, and payments are due January 31st of 2025. So most businesses will be responsible for their payroll tax filings every quarter through their submission of their 941s. So I just told you the difficulty I had in the beginning when I started. So I got a bookkeeper. I changed systems. I course corrected. I didn't know what this form 941 was. This form came up a lot during COVID with the tax credits and other COVID relief programs, and people didn't know what this form was, and they hadn't filed. They weren't tracking their payroll efficiently. They were either not tracking it using an Excel spreadsheet, but they were not filing appropriately. Not only does this make sure you're in compliance, but it will also help you when it's time to benefit from programs like the COVID programs and other programs that are becoming available, and tax credits that are coming available. When it comes to tax credits, what a lot of business owners don't realize, and entrepreneurs, is that to get these tax credits, you must have filed the taxes. So a lot of times people come to me, oh, can I get this tax credit? But they have not filed their tax returns. So you have to know what tax returns you are responsible to file, and file those. And then when they say, okay, now we're going to give you a benefit of a tax credit, you can actually benefit from it because you have already filed your taxes. And these are benefits due to you. But if you have not filed your taxes, then you have forfeited your opportunity to gain access to these benefits. And we don't want to lose out on this money. Because again, this is part of using your business to build wealth. So, I know for a lot of people, this does not seem sexy, but if you just think about it as being putting more money in your pocket, making sure that your business is financially stable, and it helping you with your ability to build wealth through your business, that is sexy. That means that's bringing you more money to your business. It's saving you money in your business. So don't take these deadlines lightly. They're very, very, very important. And again, for those of you that are coming in late, I talked about the business tax filing, income tax filing deadlines, and now I'm talking about the payroll tax filing deadlines. Okay, and the forms that you use. And if you're using a system like myself, like Gusto, then this is automatic. I don't have to worry about doing anything manually. That was the problem before. I don't want to have to manually file paperwork. I want the system I'm using and I'm paying for. That's why you invest, right? You investing, and then you get a return on that investment. This is my return. The return is, I know without a doubt that my filings are going to be done. They're going to be done on time, and they're going to be done correctly. That all the fees that are needed to be paid are going to be paid when they need to be paid, and they're going to be paid on time. That's how you need to look at it. The return that you're going to get on your investment when you're investing in tools like this to better support your business and building wealth. Okay. So next, I wanted to talk about some new 2024, some new things that's happening with regards to 2024 and your business filing. These things are important, but again, a lot of times people don't know these things because if you're doing it yourself and you're not educated, or you're not in contact or conversation or discussion with your tax professional on an ongoing basis, you're going to miss a lot of these things. And if your tax person isn't bringing you up to speed on, new updates, I would be, really take note of that. That is this person the person that you want filing your taxes if they're not keeping you informed on how you can deductions and credits that you can benefit from, and new regulations. So we know new tax regulations are constantly being introduced and updated constantly. So every year you should anticipate there are changes, and people have been impacted. I remember when there was a change to the W-4s, and people did not heed to the call that people were telling them of what actions they needed to take, and they saw a real big hit when they filed their tax returns and found that they did not get the refund that they thought they were going to get. Okay, so these things are important. So these changes encompass a range of areas, including business meals, expanded credits, employee retirement plan, tax incentives, mileage standard, the standard mileage rate, and more. So let's walk through some of these updates. So business meals tax deductions starting in the year 2022, the full tax deductibility of meals was implemented. However, in 2023, only half of the cost can be deducted. This is very important to know, first of all, that you can deduct meals, but know how much it is that you can deduct so you can plan accordingly. I know when I met with my bookkeeper, she has told me this on more than one occasion, just as a reminder. I believe it was at the end of last year and also at the beginning of the year that she was explaining to me this change to be mindful of. Okay. So then again, what I can do, knowing that I'm only going to get half credit, then I can make adjustments if need be. Maybe is that I cut back on my spending in this area, right? So last year, I had a lot more deductions of business meals than I have this year. I've cut back in a number of different areas just based on where my business is and where we're taking our business. It was important for me to go back and recalibrate and really start being even more mindful of where I'm spending in the business. Okay. But knowing that I can take advantage of this, more tax credits for small business retirement plans, more tax credit for business retirement plans. Okay. So innovation has taken hold in the realm of financial planning or plans that have broadened. Moreover, the fresh credit has emerged, focusing on specific employer contributions. Now, I took note of this when I was, again, working with my accountant and also my financial advisor to implement a retirement plan, and I went the route of a SEP plan. So as a company, I pay into my retirement plan as an employee of my company, and there are tax credits that are tied to that as a new business owner. So, not as a new business owner, but as a business owner with a newly implemented retirement plan. So you need to know this. So if you don't know this, and you implemented a new retirement plan, then you would not get the tax credit. So you want to make sure that you're getting all the tax deductions and credits that you are entitled to. And so that may be something you want to think about for your business, is incorporating a retirement plan, and not just for you as a company, for your employees, right? That's part of your strategic planning. Also, tax credits for buying new cars. So what it's saying is that the world of tax credit offers a variety of benefits to those interested in purchasing plug-in electronic vehicles. And these incentives include new clean vehicle credit, previously known as clean vehicle credit, and the commercial clean vehicle credit. Each credit has its own unique set of eligibility rules and limits. So you need to know the rules, and you need to know the credit limits. You need to know also what cars are going to benefit. In addition to this, there's also a deduction for business vehicles. So we know that there is an agenda, there is a movement, there is funding available to move everyone in the direction of moving from a gas vehicle to electric vehicle. So these things, even in your business, not just in your personal life. So you want to think about this when you're filing personally as a family, but also in your business, you can reap these tax benefits. So again, consult with your tax professional. Tax credit transferability. So the opportunity to exchange green energy tax credits for cash is an enticing possibility. And they're saying, take, for instance, the alternative fuel refueling property credit case. The tax credit designed for installing charging stations can be transformed into immediate cash through the sale to an interested buyer. Okay, so new things are being introduced every year. This is just a few of them. Okay, so more. Okay, adjustments for inflation with your business tax return filing. So every year, the IRS makes numerous adjustments to various tax items to accommodate inflation, and is going into more detail here. Standard mileage rate and driving for your business. Every year, the standard mileage rate changes. So for this year, when you're filing for 2023, it is 67 cents per mile. But did you know that this is one of the top and biggest deductions that you can claim as an entrepreneur or business owner? And many people do not claim this deduction, but it requires you tracking your driving miles as it relates to business, because it is the business mileage that you are getting credit for. So you need to be distinguished between, if you are using one car for personal and business, then you need to be able to account for the difference of when you're not traveling for your business. That is not included. It's only what you are using for your business. The small employer's health insurance tax credit in 2023, the adjustment amount for the small employer's health insurance credit, which is probably determined by wages, is now available. A gross receipts test, the eligibility assessment, commonly known as the gross receipts test, is pivotal in a variety of aspects of a business financial operations. It determines the suitability of utilizing the cash method for accounting, the need for inventory accounting, and other specific purposes. Other new things that are available is limitation on losses for non-corporate taxpayers. So the current year's restriction on losses for non corporate taxpayers has been raised, allowing excess losses to accumulate as part of a net operating loss for utilization in future tax years. So these are things you don't know on your own. Contact a tax professional. Qualified business income tax deduction. So with the start of 2023, a significant increase in taxable income threshold could limit or prohibit the qualified business income tax deduction. And one of the last things is Section 1079 tax deductions for first year expenses. This is the option to immediately deduct the cost of machinery, equipment, and other eligible property placed in service before the end of 2023, instead of gradually depreciating it, referred to as Section 179 deduction or first year expenses. This tax deduction allows businesses to tax deduct up to the 2023 limit of $1,160,000. So that is significant. Again, so you need to understand your business and what deductions and credit you are entitled to. You are entitled to for your business, for the things that you use in your business. It's significant. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the research and development tax deductions. There are tax credits in this particular area, and a lot of times people don't know that they can get tax credits for research and development, otherwise known as R&D. Again, contact your tax professional. So in the past, companies were able to deduct 100% of research and development expenses from their taxable income. That was helpful because the deduction meant that companies were operating at a loss and wouldn't have to pay taxes. However, starting in 2022, due to new regulation, companies have had to capitalize the expense or spread it out over several years. That means they must now write off the expenses over 5 years for US-based R&D or 15 years for foreign R&D expenses. So again, you need to know these changes and again, be able to use your voice. So this is something that you're like, okay, you want to see go back to the way it was, where you get 100% of the tax deduction, then that's something we need to then fight for, right? Because again, things are regularly being changed. And if you're not keeping up to it, you may not even know how it's impacting whatever program that you're in, or if you're doing research, how it's impacting. So if you thought you were going to get 100% deduction and then your tax professional did not tell you about the changes, then that might be a huge blow to you. Okay, so these things are important. Yes, it's a great benefit, but that is a significant change in how they recognize the benefit, and that you have to spread it out across a few or several years. Okay, now I could not end this video without talking about some of the top deductions. So I already talked about the mileage deduction, so I want to talk about a few more. I mentioned the meals as well because there were again changes with regards to how much you can deduct now, which is 50%. Instead of 100%, but that's still significant. Being able to deduct business meal, work-related travel expenses. So just think about when it is that you're traveling, what expenses are you incurring? Are you having to park? Are you having to pay tolls? Are you having to rent a car? What kind of travel expenses do you have? Are you having to purchase a ticket on a plane or purchase a ticket on a train? Work-related car use. So we already talked about the mileage reduction. There's a standard deduction. There's also other car-related purchase credits or the tax deductions that you can get. Business insurance. So how many of you all have, let me know if you have business insurance in the comments. Now, everybody should have business insurance. If you don't, you need to get it, okay? I can only recommend it. But did you know that you can deduct what you pay in business insurance? Yes, you can. Right? So whether you have errors and omissions insurance, general liability insurance, a BOP insurance, business insurance is tax deductible. What about a home office? So let me know in the comments, put it to in the comments. Are you working from home? Do you work from home for your business? Everybody is not in a brick and mortar. Most of us work right in our homes, but did you know that you can claim a home office deduction? You can claim a home office deduction from working your business from home. But again, you need to know the rules around it, the percentage of your home that you can claim, and that you must have an official office, a specific space, a square footage dedicated to your business work. But you can claim that as a deduction. Okay, office supplies. What supplies? Just think about what supplies are you using in your business? Papers, printers, pencils, pens, tablets, phone. What supplies are you using in your business? Even equipment. What equipment are you using in your business? Those can be tax deductible. Your phone and internet expenses. Now, I'm gonna tell you, my phone and internet, I deduct them. I use it. I work from home. I count on my internet. That's what I use my internet for. I have a dedicated phone for my business. I have a dedicated cell phone and I have a designated phone line or phone lines for my business. All of those are tax deductible. Okay, business interest and bank fees. So I know a lot, especially entrepreneurs, not so much, business owners, but even business owners try to shortcut a lot of times. And when it comes to using PayPal and Venmo and Cash App, and not paying appropriate fees, not using the business accounts connected to those, because you're like, oh, they're taking fees. Yes, they're going to take fees. You're going to pay fees, but did you also know you can deduct them? So you want to make sure you're doing business the right way, that you're accounting, that you're using the right tools, right? Like, I don't like Cash App, but if you're going to use it, use the business account, the business part of Cash App, and that you link it to your business account so that it goes directly into your business account. Okay. But these are things, these types of fees, your bank fees and things like that, interest payments on loans. And if you have a line of credit, are you deducting that interest and those fees that are tied to that? Depreciation is another big one. Now, I can't go into a lot of detail on a depreciation. What I will advise you is that if you have not discussed this, or your tax professionals have not discussed depreciation with you, they definitely need to. I remember these are for higher ticket items. I remember when I purchased my Mac Pro, which is expensive. It was like, $3,000. We added that in as a depreciated item. Okay. So if you have a vehicle, if you have other equipment in your business, if you have properties, you should have a depreciation schedule. So again, please, 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 if you have questions about what should be depreciated as it relates to your business, then you need to really look into that and make sure that is being captured on your tax returns. What about professional service fees? What professional services are you using? Did you know you can detect those? Like I just mentioned, bookkeepers, your tax preparers and filers, your accountants, your CPAs, if you have a lawyer, if you have a tax advisor. What are these professional services that you are using in your business? They are tax deductible. Are you paying salaries and other benefits? Those are deductible. So if you're paying contractors, if you're paying employees, if you're paying out health insurance benefits, health benefits, or other benefits to your team, those are deductible. Charitable contributions are deductible. Education. we're always supposed to be developing ourselves personally and professionally. What education have you taken in your business that you pay for? You can deduct it. Did you go back and get a degree? Did you take a course? Did you get a certification? Did you attend a workshop? Did you attend a seminar, a webinar? Those types of things are tax deductible. Child care and dependent care can be tax deductible as well. Energy efficiency expenses, investments, medical expenses, real estate taxes, mortgage interest, moving expenses, retirement contributions, advertising and promotion. We do so much advertising and marketing. All of that is categorized, so we know, okay, what did we spend on advertising and marketing this year? And we can track these things. We can track our return on investment. And I can say, I can make a strategic decision based on knowing how much I spent on advertising. I could be like, oh my goodness, well, we spent a lot, but did we get a return? Or I can say, oh, well, we didn't spend a lot. Maybe that is the reason why we didn't increase sales the way we needed to, because we didn't take advantage of advertising and marketing opportunities. But knowing that money you spending on ads, spending on a promotional campaign, spending on a commercial, anything advertising and promotional is considered a tax deductive item. Client and employee entertainment, startup expenses. So those of you that are startups, there are tax deductions, tax credits that are specific to you when you are starting up a new business. You want to be mindful of those. Be mindful. I believe there is a $5,000 startup tax credit that you can get and not have to spread it over years for your business when you are starting up, towards your startup costs to launch your business. Did you know that these things were available? So this is a lot. These are 25 here, but there's many, many more that I didn't even list here. But these are a few that you can utilize. And again, understanding where you are in your business, right? Are you a 1099? How you file tax returns and how you file it are different. What you claim and how you claim might be different, right? Then someone that is an S Corp or a C Corp, okay? So that's why it's so important to seek tax advice. Now, I want to talk about qualified sick and family paid leave wage credit that is still available. This is a COVID tax credit, okay? It says wage credit, but it is also for the self-employed, those that are self-employed, 1099, solopreneurs, however you categorize yourself. There's money available for you if you are eligible. Now, this is broken down under the Family First Coronavirus Response Act, which spans from April 1st of 2020 through March 31st of 2021. And then the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 that spans from April 1st, 2021 through September 30th of 2021. Okay. The maximum credit that you can get for the timeline that I just gave you from 2020 to March 31st of 2021 is $15,110. The maximum you can get under the American Rescue Plan Act for days April 1st, 2021 through through September 30th of 2021 is $17,101 for a total of $32,220. Okay, that is a max. So you can get up to the max. Now, what I want to explain to you is that there are deadlines. Okay, so the deadline to claim 2020, we did a big push last week to get the word out that this was available to file for your 2020. Because the 2020 deadline has passed for those that are helping you claim the credit, but there's plenty of time to claim your 2021 credit. So again, this is for self-employed individuals. So you need to ask yourself, did you suffer from COVID? Did you have any were you put in quarantine? Did you suffer from COVID? Did you help a dependent from COVID? Um, did you have to stay home because you had children that were in daycares or schools that had to be taken out and you had to be home? Okay, so these are things that you need to think about to see if you are eligible. We have a link that you can go to, self-employed credit support. You want to go there, t.ly // self-employed credit support, to see if you are eligible. Is the application form is so easy. It takes literally 5 minutes or less to determine if you are eligible. Now, a big thing that I mentioned earlier about filing your taxes is that to be eligible and to claim this tax credit, you must have filed your self-employment taxes. So I didn't even go over that. There are self-employed taxes. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are filing your self-employed taxes if you are required to file them. And if you are categorized as self-employed and you are filing on your Schedule C, then you need to be filing your self-employed tax form. Okay, so you can go to that link and you can email us at ercsupport@shebosstalk.com and we will help you with your filing for 2021. Okay, so we can no longer assist with 2021 claims. We are still assisting with 2021. Okay, but if you're able to claim it and get money back in your pocket to put back towards your business or your family, improve your livelihood, we want to help you to be able to do that. Okay, so we take the complication out of all of this, not going into the deep in the woods. The important thing is to know the acts, right? There were laws put into place in preparation for COVID, in response to COVID, to provide relief for those that were impacted by COVID, and all of us were. And it's important to know that there were laws put into place, there were programs put into place, and some of those programs, a lot of that money is still available for us to benefit from today. There are even newer programs coming out and available from COVID money, from these laws that were passed. So that's why the laws are very important, so you know what happened, what laws were passed, and what benefits were made available and who they benefited. This is one of them. This are the self-employed. So if you know someone that was self-employed in 2021 that you think may be eligible, please share this. Please tag them in this video. Call them up, text them, email them, so that they don't miss out. It takes 5 minutes to determine if you're eligible. Okay, so that is the deadline for the filing. Again, this has been a show to talk about the deadlines and give you updates as it relates to taxes, filing your taxes. We are in tax season. There are tax filings that are due throughout the year, depending on your business. So again, it's so important to make sure that you are on top of your business and the requirements that are tied to your business. I can tell you, like, I monitor my emails. Anytime I get a notification, you are non-compliance, I never want to see those non-compliance notifications. But the thing is that it's good that we get them, because it's really to give you a heads up, to give you an alert that say, hey, there's some action that you haven't taken that you need to take, or there's going to be a consequence, right? And I can tell you, and I've said this before, like even with my payroll taxes, I wound up, they send me the notice, and sometimes depending on your state and the department, it could be challenging to get through to them. And so I finally got a hold of a woman at the state. She worked with me. She was like, I'm gonna be here with you. Here's my personal email. I'm gonna make sure you get this thing done, that we get it situated, because they had information incorrect regarding my payroll taxes that I thought had been cleared up, right? And so, but it was not. So they were coming back to me saying, hey, we need to verify during this year. And it was the year I put myself on payroll. Right. That's why these things are important. The year I put myself on payroll, but I didn't put myself on payroll to the end of the year. But I think earlier on when I was setting up the system in the Ohio system, I think I said January or sometime earlier in the year, but that's because I was anticipating doing that, but I didn't actually put myself on payroll until around October. So what that meant was while I was out of compliance, they jacked up the rate that I paid for my payroll taxes, and my unemployment taxes went through the roof. Right? So I was paying that. So then once we resolved everything, they lowered my tax rate, and then they also issued me a refund for $1,000 because I had overpaid for the months that I should not have overpaid once I got everything resolved. So it's important to work with your local and state officials depending on who you're needing to file things, whatever you're filing with, or keep things up to date on. It can be a lot. So it's good to take inventory, make a list, create a calendar for these dates and timelines, because it's a lot to keep up with. If you have a team member that you can have be responsible for staying up to date on all of the dates that you need to stay up on, I would recommend that too. I really want to do that. I haven't done it yet. But as long as somebody is staying up to date and then putting it on your calendar as a reminder. So if it's something annually you need to do, and it's every March or it's every April, then just put that thing on your calendar. So then and set notifications up. So like maybe you're reminded a month in advance or 2 months in advance. So you can get prepared and get your team prepared to be able to respond to whatever the need is or the request is that you need to take action on. But there are so many deductions and so many credits that are available to you. Please make sure that you're taking advantage of every single opportunity that is available to you. Every single opportunity. So I see you all out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. These lives are always recorded. Again, they just go to the video tab. You can click on our video tab and you will see these videos. We never delete videos. So all of our videos are available on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Just go to the video tab, click on it, and you will see it. Or you could just simply go to our channel. It will show our latest live. If you're tuning in on Facebook, then we have a feature section as well, and we always pin our videos to the top of our page. So that's important to know. If you're tuning in from LinkedIn, again, it's easy to find as well by going to our LinkedIn and going to our page to see our latest activity, and it will show our video there as well. No. So someone is asking me, am I meaning that I'm assisting with 2022? No, 2021. So these 2020 and 2021 tax credits that were made available that some people didn't know that they can still claim, or they didn't know about them at all. These are COVID tax credits, which this is, I believe, is the last one, because we were also assisting with the employee retention tax credit. And then that stopped earlier, like even the 2021, like the deadline came for April, but before that, due to a lot of fraud, the backlog, fraud and backlog, okay, that the IRS stopped, paused receiving new submissions of claims, okay. But the deadline isn't supposed to be to 2025, but they stopped it. And they have not come back to say that they are starting it up again. There was a bill introduced that said that there was a bill introduced that would have shortened the time frame on to claim it. That's why I said, when you find out about an opportunity available, don't wait till the deadline. The deadline can even shift. Congress makes changes all the time. And they did it this time. So again, there's still millions of business owners out there that never had the opportunity to claim their employee retention credit. So this self-employed credit is available now. I don't know next month or the month after if it'll still be available. Congress can at any time come back and say, this is happening or that is happening. So we're going to pull back in this area. We're going to move this money that was allocated here to somewhere else. That's why it's important. If you think you're eligible to go take the 5 minutes or less that it takes to see if you're eligible for the tax credit, take it while you can. And as I just showed with the tax deductions and credits, they may change. One year, like COVID, they made a lot of things where you could claim things you weren't able to claim before. You could claim at 100% where you weren't able to claim at 100%, but they phased those out. So now business meals are 50%. So while you have the ability to claim as much as you can claim it. I know I am. I mean, I do my own research. So, I used to be a tax preparer. So there are things that I know, but there's still things I don't know. And I ask my accountant, and I meet regularly with my bookkeeper. I ask questions because I want to take advantage of every benefit that is due me. And all of us that got into entrepreneurship, you got into a lot of us not even knowing all the benefits that we are entitled to. But to claim these benefits, you must be well structured in your business, well organized, and have everything documented. You can't just claim stuff that you can't show proof that you're eligible to claim. So you must make sure you have your documentation in order and that the professionals you're working with are professionals, that you have vetted them, and that they know what they're doing so that they can get you all the deductions that you qualify for, all of the credits that you qualify for in your business. So you're welcome. Stay tuned because I'm really working on new shows that are really, again, focused on building wealth through entrepreneurship. All of these things that don't, again, seem exciting or sexy, that are very important to building wealth, that many businesses overlook. And it's costing you. It can cost you big time. It can cost you big time not to have your taxes in order. And I continue to see businesses that haven't filed taxes in 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. Get your taxes up to date. Start using the systems that are available for you to keep everything organized, and make it easy for you to say, if somebody comes knocking and say, dear ma'am or sir, please provide evidence that, of your business. Please provide evidence that you are eligible for this tax deduction. It's easy to do that. So then you don't have to be afraid of the IRS. You don't have to be afraid of the government. You don't have to be afraid of an audit if you have your business in order and you are doing everything above board. That's basically the bottom line. Every time in my life, throughout my life, it was documentation that saved me every time, or that got me over a hump or over a challenge, or helped me qualify for something because I kept the documentation. Every time it was documentation that did it. Because if you don't have your documentation, it didn't happen. And if you can't substantiate it, not only is it going to cost you, you're going to have to give money back. You're going to have to pay penalties and fines for things you claim that you were not entitled to because you couldn't prove it. And so we don't want to be in that situation. So this is, again, about what actions do we need to take to build wealth. So go take those actions and then come back and share with me how, you taking the action on information we share for free has helped you in your business. So then we can share it and inspire and empower others to be able to do the same for your business. But that's what we do in 2024. We're soaring and we're building wealth. We're going to the next level. And this is next level information that if you use it can do amazing things in your business, will transform your business just by the information that I provided here today. So take advantage of it. Continue to be the boss with Amplify Impact. Have a great day, and I will see you next week for our next episode. Bye.